We're having a hearing today to consider the proposed vacation of .0499 acres of River Road in Perry Township. This hearing is being called to order by myself, President John R. Hammercheck, the Lake County Board of Commissioners. This hearing is being held in accordance with Section 5553.05 of the Ohio Revised Code for the primary purpose of hearing comments on the proposed vacation of 0.499 acres of River Road in Perry Township, and this hearing will be recorded. Any person wishing to comment on the proposed vacation of the proposed 0.499 acres of River Road in Perry Township is invited to speak at this time, or an agent may speak on their behalf after stating their names and address in full in a clear and distinct voice for the record. So with that, do we have anyone wishing to address the board at this time? Anyone at all? Very good, thank you. The board will now receive any written comments on the proposed vacation at this time. Madam Clerk, any written?
There are not any written comments.
Thank you, ma'am. The Board of Commissioners will not make any decision on the above stated road vacation at this time. Additional written comments on the subject may be sent to the Clerk of the Board of Lake County Commissioners, 105 Main Street, 5th floor, Building A, Lake County Administration Center, Haynesville, Ohio, 44077, until 4:30 on Wednesday, September 21, or strike that, September 21, 2022. Wow, easy for me to say. And with that, this public hearing stands adjourned. Madam Clerk, please note the time. All right, rolling directly into our 37th meeting of the Lake County Board of Commissioners. Would all those who are willing and able please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of our country. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Grant us, O Lord, light to our understanding, prudence in our investigating, foresight in our planning, sincerity in our deliberating, the grace to follow truth in our judgment. Help us to be moved in our decision either by self-interest, Help us to be moved in our decision either by fear nor by self-interest, and to do work faithfully. May we respect the authority vested in us, for thou art the source of all authority. And may we use in our directives for the common good and for thy honor and glory. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you all. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Present.
Commissioner Tyler.
Here.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Here. All right, this brings us to our first public comment portion. Is anyone wishing to address the board at this time? Anyone at all? Thank you. Madam Clerk, roll call, or strike that. Madam Clerk, first agenda item. Wow, I must be in a parallel universe today.
In the Utilities Department, resolution approving plans, specifications, and estimates of cost in the amount of $250,000 for Waverly Waterline Improvements Phase 2 Project 460W.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion? None being heard. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Tyler.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Resolution authorizing the Lake County Sanitary Engineer to apply for, accept, and enter into a water pollution control loan fund on behalf of Lake County for construction of wastewater facilities and designating a dedicated repayment source for the loan.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion? Randy, you want to give us some background, please?
Sure, thank you, Commissioner. This resolution and the next one are for two different projects, authorizing me to apply for loans for the Red Creek Sanitary Sewer project that we're looking at doing next year, and also the Madison the wastewater treatment, or the pipe that
it's obviously contagious this morning. I'm so sorry.
I drew a blank there for a second. I apologize, but this just authorizes for the loans and or loan forgiveness application to WPCLF, which is we've applied for before and been successful. We hope to here also.
Excellent. Thank you, sir. Anything else? Thank you. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Tyler.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Resolution authorizing the Lake County Sanitary Engineer to apply for, accept, and enter into a water pollution control loan fund on behalf of Lake County for construction of wastewater facilities and designating a dedicated repayment source for the loan.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion? Very good. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Tyler.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Resolution declaring the necessity of constructing and installing sanitary sewer lines together with related improvements and all necessary appurtenances thereto, comprising the Kirtland Old Town Sanitary Sewer Project 445S, and authorizing related matters.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion?
Mr. President,
Sir.
I would just say again that the Board of Commissioners are grateful that we were able to assist with this project. It's a very traumatic thing when Ohio EPA mandates an entire neighborhood to go on sewer. More often than not, the cost to the homeowners is a substantial percentage of the home's value. And I think that it was so appropriate that the very first meeting for Commissioner Tyler was when we were able to vote to give help to Old Town Kirtland. And this is a continuation of that project.
Very good. Commissioner Tyler, anything you want to add?
Yeah,
sir?
that was a very important first meeting for me personally, since I was involved with the first phase back 10, 15 years ago with Randy and Alan and the whole group. So I'm really glad to see that I'm moving forward, and it's just about the time we estimated back when we completed the first phase. So we're pretty much on track. Good to see. And I saw that the public hearing will be advertised shortly for October 27th.
Correct. This resolution sets the date for October 27th at 7 o'clock at Kirtland High School Gymnasium. The letters to the residents or the property owners will be going in the mail tomorrow. It will be posted in the newspaper the next couple of weeks, and we'll be all set for that meeting.
That's great. Thank you.
Yeah. Randy, you've been the good shepherd on this. Anything else you want to add, sir?
It's a long process. Look forward to getting it started. You know, there's a lot of prep before we can actually put a shovel on the ground, and that'll still be several months away. But this will allow the public hearing to happen, and then we'll be able to authorize the construction in a couple of months, and look forward to having that completed next year.
Very good. Thank you. All right. There's nothing further. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Tyler.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Resolution certifying unpaid water and sewer sums and administrative charges to the Lake County Auditor.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion? None being heard. Madam Clerk, roll call. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Tyler.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
And Job and Family Services Department, resolution approving Lake County Department of Job and Family Services vouchers, date of warrant September 23rd, 2022, in the amount of $473,775.04.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion? None.
Mr. President?
Oh, sir.
I would just say, while these are rote and ministerial resolutions with Job and Family Services, it always bears saying that we're grateful for the hard work in that department. It's not an easy job, and our director, Suzanne Kazar, always approaches it with a smile and a sunny day to make sure that the many children and families they serve are always taken care of.
If I could add, thank you, Commissioner Plechnik. Again, as you've heard me say before, this wouldn't be possible without the hard work of our staff and their commitment to the services that we provide. Thank you for acknowledging that.
Absolutely, ma'am. Thank you for adding that. All right, if there's nothing further, Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Tyler.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Resolution authorizing the execution of a sub-grant agreement between the Ohio Department of Job and Family Services and Local Workforce Area 5, Lake County, for the receipt of funds from the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act and other federal workforce-related funds.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion? None being heard. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Tyler.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
And the Finance Department, resolution approving payment of bills as listed on the Commissioner's Approval Journal in the amount of $3,484,836.49.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion? None being heard. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Tyler.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Resolution approving purchase orders as listed on the Commissioner's Purchase Order Approval Journal in the amount of $395,123.78.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion? None being heard. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Tyler.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Resolution increasing appropriations through various general and non-general fund accounts.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion? None being heard. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Tyler.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Resolution transferring appropriations within various general and non-general fund accounts.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion? None being heard. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Tyler.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes. Very good. Moving on to departmental reports. Utilities. Randy.
Thank you, Commissioner. I wanted to thank all of our employees for making our Madison Wastewater Treatment Plant open house and tour a success last Saturday. We had beautiful weather. We had about 200 people come and take a tour. Follow-up surveys, 90% said the day was excellent and 10% good, and so we're good or excellent all the way down, and that's thanks to our employees. They did a fantastic job. As far as the favorite part of the tour, the survey said number one was actually being able to see and learn the process, and number two was the knowledge of the tour guide. So again, just want to thank all of the employees who participated and really made it a success. We had a very, very nice turnout, good time.
Well, Randy, if I could add, my wife and I did attend, and Summer joined us in our tour, and Mike Urkela and Mark Burkett. Awesome job, tour guides. I did put that in my survey. So I thought the place was beautiful, grounds were immaculate. Great explanation. I worked with Mike before when we toured the GLK plant. So I thought from start to finish, the tour was very well presented, and your entire staff did a great job. Thank you.
Mr. President?
Sir.
I would add I got there at the tail end, but I still had the grand tour, and I have to agree I was one of the survey takers who put excellent down. My only recommendation for future years was hot dogs. But it was that kind of a family event. I saw children in strollers, I saw whole families come through, and what's really a testament to how popular it was is there were so many community fairs and events happening that day. I stopped into a few myself. So people had to choose between a fair and a tour of the wastewater treatment plant, and 200 folks said, we want to see our plant. So I think it really speaks to how family friendly and fun it really was to see the process that we go through to make sure we have clean drinking water and keep Lake Erie clean and clear. And it was just evident from each step in the process how much care our staff have to make sure that our water is quite literally the best, and Lake Erie is the cleanest lake in the world.
And I think your staff will let me jump in the vac truck too, so that was kind of exciting. And I did enjoy the demonstration with the cameras going through the pipe, so nice to use good technology. It certainly helps the process. So, thanks.
Excellent. The only thing I would add is I understand there were people from all across Lake County, individuals and families, so that was pretty impressive. You've done a fine job marketing it.
Yeah, there were a lot of families. It was really nice to see. Thank you.
Well done. Well done. All right. Thank you. Moving on to Job and Family Services. Suzanne.
Thank you, Commissioner. A couple of things this morning. Wanted to mention again that Job and Family Services is going to be holding a hiring event on Tuesday, September 20th from 9 a.m. until noon. This is a private hiring event for youth leader positions at our residential treatment facility located here in Lake County. I just wanted to add that Lake County is a wonderful place to work. So any individuals who are considering applying for this position, I certainly hope will schedule an interview. Folks interested in scheduling interviews should call 440-350-4000 and press number 3. Again, that's for the adolescent leader positions, and interviews will take place on Tuesday, September 20th. And then also I wanted to mention that we are going to be holding a popular fundraiser again to support the Lake County Foster Parent Association. This fundraiser is in collaboration with Lavera in Willoughby Hills. It is going to take place on Monday, September 26th we are offering 2 dinner options for this event, a vegetarian option, which we've never offered before, as well as lasagna and chicken as the other dinner option. And again, Livera is a wonderful partner of Job and Family Services and of the Foster Parent Association. They do make a generous donation back to the Foster Parent Association for every meal purchased. So again, that's going to be on Monday, September 26th. I know that we've tried to get the word out on social media about this event in hopes that several individuals from the community will support it. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you.
Mr. President?
Sir.
If I could just add, and I know I've shared this a few times before, Livera is one of the most special businesses in Willoughby Hills and Lake County with just an incredible local history. It used to be known as the Mounds Club, which surreptitiously was the largest illegal gambling facility in Ohio. And over the years, when its underground tunnel was discovered by a rival criminal group and the gamblers and house were robbed, it was sold to families that turned it into a completely legitimate party center, which it remains today, where many people remember having their weddings and family affairs at. But it is an absolutely gorgeous interior. If you've never seen it, it really looks like the yesteryear incredible largesse of the 30s and 40s. And so when you step in there, you step into a piece of history, and the food is incredible. So we're really grateful that they continue to support Lake County Job and Family Services, and I want to encourage people to participate.
Very good. Thank you, ma'am. All right, moving on. County Administrator, Jason.
Good morning, Commissioners. Just very briefly, we continue the Lake County Public Safety Center program. We are right on schedule. We anticipate in the next week or two of getting our first kind of refined square footage based on the input by the sheriff's entire management team, from corrections to road patrol, SWAT, and so on. We were looking towards the end of September, and we are right there. So we'll have a more formal presentation in the coming weeks to the board to start looking at sizing and some price considerations. But so far, so good on that process. We're hitting all of our timelines. Secondly, we continue to plan for the evaluated hostile action-based exercise for the Perry plant, which is 2 weeks from yesterday, I believe. I have another meeting this afternoon, so all of our county officials are preparing and training for that most important exercise that we do every 2 years. Every 8 years, it's an HAB, a hostile action base, so we're working toward that. And I also want to thank Randy and I'm sure Mr. Armand. I saw his congratulatory email to staff, which was quite well penned. If anyone knows Matt like we do, he has quite the ability and skills. So it was a really nice letter he sent to your staff. So I wasn't able to make it, but I heard a bunch of good things. So congratulations to Randy, Matt, and Gary and their entire team. Thank you.
Very good.
Any comment about the Sheriff's Range groundbreaking ceremony?
Yeah, that was great. That was a week ago today. I believe our friends at the News Herald are going to be putting an article out on that. I want to thank the commissioners, the sheriff and his whole executive team, Highway Patrol, Metro Parks, Mr. Gills. We had a really good turnout for that. Fox 8 was there, News Herald, I believe the Tribune was there. We're really looking forward to moving dirt, which I think will be next week. I have to go to the building department today. I believe the permits are done. As I briefly mentioned, Mr. Gills' team did all the site and civil work for this. He, along with BNN, are going to be the eyes and ears on the ground. It's been a really nice collaborative project. We hope to get it done by the spring of 2023. A couple of the critical items right now are long lead items, some of our rooftop mechanicals, our distribution panel, some things that it's like any other project that we have going on. We're kind of at a mercy at the market at this point, but really looking forward to that project. So thanks for the reminder, Commissioner.
Very good. Anything else for Jason? Thank you,
Mr.
sir.
President?
Sir.
I just want to second County Administrator Jason Boyd's thanks to our County Engineer's Office. This is a really important project. It's not just going to benefit our Sheriff's Office. We're making this facility available to every law enforcement agency in Lake County. So this is going to promote training. It's going to save money. It's going to help us to be safer as a whole, and it's really exciting for the county to take the lead on this project. So huge thanks to our engineer's office for helping us to move this project much faster than if we had to do all of this out of house. And of course, we want to give the biggest thank you to Sheriff Liam Bruno and his team for making this possible. On a related note, since we're talking about the Sheriff's Office, I want to extend great thanks to Chief Deputy Jeff Sherwood for his years of service. He's retiring from his post as Chief Deputy, and I want to congratulate Bob Izzo on accepting the position. He'll be starting shortly as the new Chief Deputy Sheriff for Lake County. It's a very important role, and Jeff just performed so admirably, and to see Bob step up after the great work he's done on many of our biggest events like security at the Lake County Fair, I know we have confidence that the leadership team at the Sheriff's remains very strong.
Very good. Thank you, Jason. All right, Madam Clerk.
The next Commissioners meeting is going to be Thursday, September 22nd at 10 a.m.
Very good. Anything for our clerk? Thank you, ma'am. Moving on to legal, sir.
No reports, Commissioner.
Thank you, sir. All right, moving on to old business. Do we have any old business to come before the board? Any old business? Thank you. Hearing none. Moving on to new business. Do we have any new business? Any new business? Again, hearing none. All right, this brings us to our second public comment portion. Sir.
Brian Massey, 8196 Rainbow Drive. For the benefit of Commissioner Tyler, I just wanted to go back a little bit in history. Well over a year ago, we were doing some research on the $350 million that the county had invested. And Mr. Matus provided us with some the accounts that made up a $350 million. And then we discovered from very simple analysis that of the $350 million, $55 million belonged to the Deepwood Industries, Lake County Board of Developmentally Disabled. And I requested a meeting with the Budget Commission, and we did have a meeting. Prosecutor Colson, at that time, because he is the legal representation for Deepwood Industries, he had to recuse himself from the meeting, but at that time, Auditor Galloway and it was Treasurer Lorraine Fendi, I believe at that time, they basically said that that $55 million has been proven by the Deepwood Industries that they will be using that money as it moves forward. So I said, okay, at least we had our a meeting and they explained. Let me fast forward a little bit now that several weeks ago, whistleblower mentioned to me that there has been a change in how the services of the Lake County Board of DD is providing the services on the workshop. And found that interesting, and I was also told by the whistleblower that the Deepwood Industries is now a 501c3 private organization that is funded by the Lake County Board of DD. So I started thinking, well, what happens to this $55 million? So my first response is always, I sent an email to Alfie Roman, in charge of the director of Lake County Board of DD, and I asked for the financial statements, as I always do, and I didn't get a response. A couple weeks later, I sent a second email to Ms. Roman, and still no response. I tried to reach out to some agencies, state agencies that may know something about that, because I was trying to find out. I was just doing some research on finding out, what is really happening in that industry. And I spoke to the Ohio Provider Resource Association, and they're a lobbying group for the private nonprofits that actually are performing the services now that Deepwood Industries was providing. So I've got confirmation of that, but I wanted some additional confirmation, so I contacted Mr. Larry Allen. Mr. Allen is the president of the Lake County Board of DD. And when I told him the story of the 501c3s and not getting financial information from Alfie Roman, his response is, I don't know anything about it. As far as he is concerned, that there's no change in the 501, in the way the services are provided. Now, something is wrong. I mean, I'm concerned that Alfie Roman is not being transparent. Why doesn't she just, contact us and say, here's what's happening. Here's the financial information. Because what I don't want to have happen is if the taxpayer dollars of $55 million, that's taxpayer dollars we're taking from the taxpayers, and if that money is now funding a private nonprofit, and the difference is, and I'm sure you know this, but for the audience, is that it is when it becomes a 501c3, it is no longer subject to the Ohio Sunshine Laws. And quite frankly, that would not be acceptable to me. But I'm here before the commissioners to ask for your help. If what I am saying is true and accurate, does it bother you that there's been a change and public money taken from the taxpayers through the property taxes can go to a 501c3? That does not seem appropriate to me. So I'm here asking the commissioners, whether it's Commissioner Pletchik, Commissioner Tyler, or yourself, Commissioner Hammercheck, can we, as citizens, and I know that you do appoint, people to their board, so you have some authority, over them. Can you get the true story of what is happening with the Lake County Board of DD? And how are they providing the services? What has changed? Because the people want to know.
I would imagine we should be able to ask that. Look over to legal, though. I know nothing about Deepwood creating or being turned into a 501c3, and is there a legal counsel? Have you been involved?
I'm unaware of that, Commissioner, but bottom line is there is a statute in place, Mr. Massey, that you're familiar with, I believe, within the last few years, about how there's two different accounts that Deepwood has to keep track of, and the Budget Commission does have oversight of that. And my understanding is those accounts are in order under a certain threshold, and I wasn't anticipating you speaking on this, so I'm kind of going off the cuff here. But I don't know that anything nefarious is going on.
I'm not suggesting anything is. I'm just saying that
someone used the term whistleblower. I suspect that that's a specific term being used. But no, Commissioner, I'm unaware of that corporation.
Instead of, would you have said? Should I have said source instead of whistleblower? Or? I mean, I'm not trying to get anybody, in trouble here, but there's, people come to me with things that are happening in the community. They don't want to step up, and I'm willing to step up on the firing line and getting the information for them. So I'm just saying, please help us get the information so that I can get the truth out to the people.
And just to be clear, you did make a public records request?
Yes, I sent an email to Alfie Roman twice, and all she has to do is say, Brian, there's nothing to change. Here's the financial information, and we're good. And I will report that on our website.
Well, I suppose it's worthy of a phone call. I apologize.
Okay. Will I wait to hear from you, or Commissioner Pletchik, or Commissioner Tyler?
I will make a phone call. And I will encourage Alfie or someone from there to reach out to you.
Thank you very much.
I just don't want to become the middleman. I don't want this board to become the middleman. You are correct, though. We do appoint Deepwood board members, but there's a statutory, how do I want to say this? I'm looking to legal. There's a statutory set of requirements. The people who are appointed to Deepwood have to meet a certain criteria. We can't just grab Georgine Citizen off the public square and say congratulations. So there are a number of prescriptive requirements. I say that reasonably
That's correct.
well.
I mean, just like one of them, I believe, a family member who perhaps is developmentally disabled. There's other requirements.
Where are the average citizens? Where are we going to go to get information? Who is looking out for us? As I said to the Concord trustees, the trustees, they get police, fire, and roads, and they think they got the job done. But there's also protection, financial protection for the citizens of Lake County that is incumbent on all of the elected officials. And that's why, in our role as lobbyists for citizens, we're trying to eliminate the lies, deceptions, and betrayals, and we want the truth. So I'm coming to you as our elected representatives, Commissioner Plechnik, we need help in getting the truth out to them.
If I could.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. But in addition to the electeds you see before us, I would say John Music. He represents and looks out for the people. You yourself. And at the risk of breaking the fourth wall, I'm going to look into that camera and say that people that are watching this right now, they're showing an interest. They're going above and beyond. So this is certainly not a solo act, and I think there's a degree of openness and transparency. I regret that there seems to be a challenge with getting a response, but I'm hesitant to ask, but I'll just ask, so when you made your public records request, were you explicit that was a public records request, or was it?
Yes.
Because candidly, I've seen some emails that look like just casual conversation.
Okay.
So that can be confusing.
All right. Thank you very much for that.
Fairness.
Thank you for that constructive criticism. And what I will do is I'll use that form that I will always use, and so that there can be no. I've sent, I don't know, hundreds of records requests, and I just did that to public schools. I didn't have to use a special form, for the public schools. But if there is some confusion with those emails, I appreciate that, and I will make sure that every public records request will have that same form that you've all seen, so there can be no misunderstanding.
Well said, clear and unambiguous. That does help.
Thank you very much.
Bless you. Thank you, sir. Anyone else wishing to address the board at this time? Sir. And speaking of John Music.
John Music, 45 Conduit, Painesville Township. And again, I just want to add to what Mr. Massey was saying. Right now, accountability, just like the people who live here in Lake County, they have to be very accountable for their dollars and cents that they do have, because there's so many people in this county that are hurting. And the thing about it is, if we as the citizens of this county have to be accountable how we spend our money. It isn't any more wants, it's hopefully you can afford your needs. The thing about it is, in my opinion, everybody should be held accountable for this, because we are going through rough times right now. So, especially the seniors and the people that are on fixed incomes, because we're never going to get a raise. Just like the last Social Security raise we got. Well, it was 5.9, and inflation went up 8 point something. So you still lost. So this is what's happening out there. This is the real world. So I just want to mention that. And now, for all accountability, we all, as citizens of this county, have to really pay attention. Thank you.
Agreed. Thank you, sir. Okay, anyone else wishing to address the board at this time? Anyone else? Thank you. We do have a request for an executive session. The purpose will be real estate acquisition. There will be no business to be conducted afterwards. Do I have a motion to adjourn for the reasons so stated?
Mr. President?
Sir.
Before we adjourn, I just want to make one point about public records requests. It's not entirely true that 501c3s or other nonprofits are not subject to public records requests. Shield versus Horton is one case, but the Ohio Supreme Court has held many times that there's actually a balancing test to analyze whether or not a nonprofit that's government funded is actually a public entity or not. So if there were a 501c3 that was exclusively performing government functions, funded by government money, staffed by government employees. So let's just say that a function that Deepwood had previously done entirely was now being performed by a 501c3, that would pretty clearly qualify as a public entity that would still be subject to public records requests. So it wouldn't actually escape that accountability if that were the case.
Thank you so much for that clarification. I'm just going to add that what my source was told, that there would be a 501c3, would not be eligible to attend any of their meetings or get any information. I'm just telling you what we have been told, so the more clarification we can get on this, that would be great, but thank you very much.
Very good. All right, if there's nothing further, again, there's a request for an executive session. The purpose is real estate acquisition. There'll be no business to be conducted afterwards. Do I have a motion to adjourn for the reasons so stated?
So moved.
Second.
Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Tyler.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes, thank you for joining us today.